whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel Gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn that attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution was trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media, rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Facebook page for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. The book is coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to @CommonwealthCos for more updates on our release, which will be coming soon. I'm actually, we'll have that for you later this week. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not, greetings family, you can also check out our YouTube page where we also have been talking about, as we do live streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays on different videos we've done covering the Cosby trial and so forth. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the place to be is right here with me. This channel, Gboot2786, only on YouTube as well as on our backup channel, Gavin Richard, and Facebook, Gavin Richard, and on Twitter via Periscope @GavinRich2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're blessed and doing safe, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we will be discussing the following. Morris Day in the Time can no longer be called Morris Day in the Time. Biden grants Ukrainians a TPS order, and Ukrainians ask Africans and transgenders to fight against Mother Russia. All this and more, ladies and gentlemen, only on channel Gboot2786. Again, if you'd like to advertise with our channel, go to gavin.urich1@gmail.com, gavin.urich1@gmail.com for rates. Email us also our Patreon. If you'd like to get subscribe to us for premium content. I know I haven't been on there in a while, but I'll be doing some things on that very soon, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, to support the channel, go to the Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire, or Gavin Richard Esquire, Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle at the ticker at the bottom. And also, if you want to support us, go to nonniescreoleblends.com and order some Creole seasoning. Ladies and gentlemen, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnies goes great with every dish. So, as we always do, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to get on up. So you can go to our Facebook, you will go to Apple, to the Apple Store, and download and purchase Gotta Get On Up, as well as Video Soul, which are our songs that we play all the time here. But our theme song is Gotta Get On Up. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us get on up.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the...
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the...
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this this party started. Ain't no time for the brokenhearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all time. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad police, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. You know, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Random Topic Sundays here on channel Gboot2786. It is Gavin Richard Presents, and I am the host with the most, Gavin Richard. Thank you all for tuning in on this day before Monday. Yeah, I know. We all got to get back to it again and grind and get to that job, that 9 to 5, so we can pay our bills. But you're here with me right now, ladies and gentlemen. I want to point out something. I don't know if I have family here that are in New Orleans right now, but I just want to share this little flyer with you all. Tonight, this is not going to be a long show because I want to go work out a little bit before I leave. Before I get ready, because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I will be out at Hi-Ho Lounge featuring doing some stand-up comedy. So as you can see the flyer I got right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to my Facebook page, Gavin Richard Comedian, actually, let me stop. Hold on. Of course, you can't see it because I got to share the screen with you all, but I'm going to be here tonight at the Hi-Ho Lounge I'm featuring. So I want you all, if you can, to come check that out. Some good, clean fun. Me and Rosie Tron will be featuring tonight. So at the Proving Ground Comedy, which is at the Hi-Ho Lounge at 8 o'clock. So DeAndre, I know you're out in Slidell, so you come on out. Yeah. I can upload some clips for you all soon of some of my stand-up. I have some old clips here from back in the day, but really just grinding, getting back to it, because March 17th, also, if you're out in Lafayette, March 17th, yours truly will be back doing stand-up at the Wurzburg Garden. I thought I had that downloaded, but I'll go ahead and re-download that and send that to you all and put the flyer up when it is. But March 17th, which is St. Patty's Day. You look at the Irish. I'll be there with the white folks, making them laugh on St. Patty's Day, McLaddy. The only brothers I know that are Irish are the Boston Celtics, the entire roster of the Boston Celtics. Other than that, we don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But I know that much, Mr. Mac. You look at the Irish. I'll be out there. Oh, yes, McLaddy. So, thank you, Darius. I appreciate it. So, smash up the likes, ladies and gentlemen. But if you can come on out, oh, thank you. I believe I will too. If not, I get paid anyway. So, Green beer. Closest I've had is Heineken. Well, Heineken's German. Green clothes, yeah. So, oh man, I saw something trending earlier. Tariq Nasheed put this up. Did y'all see this? This is a lawsuit
that they filed in Chicago against Beetlejuice, the mayor of the city, Beetlejuice. I don't want to say the name 3 times, but Mayor Lori Lightfoot is being sued because allegedly the former deputy general counsel for the Park District up in Chicago got chewed out by the mayor, and she allegedly claimed to have, quote, the biggest dick in the Windy City. I can actually believe it. I'm wheezing. I gotta control myself. I'm sorry. George Serenatis, who worked for the Park District, says in his lawsuit that the trouble began over a plan to include a controversial statue of Christopher Columbus during an annual parade organized by the city's Italian American community. The prominent statue, which stood near Lake Michigan downtown, was one of several Columbus statues around the city that Lightfoot had ordered removed in the wake of social justice protests in the summer of 2020. After the mayor's order, the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans sued the Park District. Serenoidis alleges that he was then asked by the district's chief lawyer and a chief city superintendent to collaborate with the Italian organization to find a solution and settle the suit as soon as possible. As reported by the Chicago Tribune, Serenoidis and lawyers represent, that's a fucked up name too. Sounds like a disease. Representing the Italian Americans came to a solution. The community would be allowed to include the statue of Columbus during the annual parade, but Columbus would have to ride last and would be kept concealed until the very end. But before the deal was finalized, Simonitis claims Lightfoot abruptly called him into a Zoom meeting. You dicks, what the fuck were you thinking? The mayor began, according to, I'm gonna just say his complaint. You make some kind of secret agreement with Italians. You are out there measuring your dicks with the Italians, seeing who's got the biggest dicks. You are out there stroking your dicks over the Columbus statue. She continued, my dick is bigger than yours and the Italians. I have the biggest dick in Chicago. Of course, I think she already has. Roshana. Says the mayor was irate because Simonitis hadn't run the deal past the city lawyer. She went on to attack the Park District lawyer's credentials, he claimed. Where did you go to law school? Did you even, let me get her voice right. Where did you go to law school? Did you even go to law school? Do you even have a law license? Son, them steroids get you. Them injection she taken. Lightfoot allegedly then told the team to get that fucking statue back before noon, and also threatened to, at some point, to yank the Italian Americans parade permit. The lawsuit claims that Simonitis, who resigned from the Park District last month, was defamed by the aggressive, condescending comments. Damn. He can't take ribs? Fuck, as much as we've been chewed out, he's suing this. Well, I'm not gonna say he can't sue. I mean, people sue all the time for different stuff. Man, there's a lot of dick measuring going on in the city of Chicago, and just remember, Mayor Lightfoot, she holds the biggest one. I can't help it. That is too funny. I run this shit. I'm the fucking queen. I'm the fucking king of Chicago around here. I wish she was stomping around like Eddie Kane. No, I'm sorry, David Ruffin from the Temptations. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Simonitis. I got the big dick in this motherfucker. This my city. But what's going on in Chicago? They got a lot of problems. I saw that city council actually denied, I think, a settlement. Darius, stop. Didn't you have a non-black city council that denied a settlement? As you see, the city council has to approve any settlement agreement. Okay, so yeah, it was $125,000 settlement with Lenora Bond, and the finance committee rejected the settlement up in Chicago. Now, I don't know too much about that, but that was a police shooting. I believe they found wrongdoing, which they always do. I mean, at first they even denied the family of Alton Sterling a settlement here in Baton Rouge. Yeah, and that's and this is the same city council that, well, I don't know if it was the exact same, but the city council members got criticized for signing off on a $5 million settlement to the family of Laquan McDonald without even asking tough enough questions or seeing the incendiary shooting in video. So they just signed off on it without even looking at the video. And a 13-13 vote was made. So since it was a tie, there was no vote on it. Come on, man. I'm gonna have an asthma attack over this. I'm trying not to be too long today, guys, so I'm gonna get into the story. But yeah, but that's interesting. I'm gonna leave the link to it. To answer your question, Kamer, what's up? How do I feel about independent music artists today? I love it. I welcome it. I think it's good. And speaking of artists, let's just start with our first topic: the artist formerly known as Morris Day in the Time. Now, Morris Day, as many of you know on this channel, is a contemporary of Prince. He actually was a childhood friend of Prince uh, while Morris was working. And I saw, if you saw Tales from the Tour Bus, they talk about how Morris Day in the Time got started and how he knew Prince and how Prince blew up with that song, I Want to Be Your Lover. When he heard it on the radio, he actually left his job. He was working, I think, at a car rental place. And he decided to link up with Prince, and Prince offered him the opportunity to work with him, perform, do music. And that's how that started. And he gave them the name The Time. But eventually, of course, Morris became his own man, especially after Purple Rain. He actually got better reviews in Purple Rain than Prince. Well, he had Morris Day in the Time, and many of those guys that were in the time, like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Jerome Benson, uh, and so many others, they blew up. When he did Purple Rain, he actually got better reviews. I'm sorry, Kumari. All right. He got better reviews than Prince. So it has been announced R&B legend took to his and disclosed the fact that the Prince estate has basically censored him from using the name Morris Day in the Time. According to the report, the longtime friend and collaborator of Prince took to social media to air his grievances with the late star's estate and the way they have been operating his affairs. Morris wrote the following. He says, I've given 40 years of my life building up a name and legacy that Prince and I came up with. A name that, while he was alive, he had no problem with me using. I literally put my blood, sweat, and tears into bringing value to that name. In fact, he booked me on several tours and many jam-packed nights at Paisley Park under the name Morris Day and the Time, not once ever saying to me that I couldn't use that name configuration. However, now that Prince is no longer with us, suddenly the people who control his multi-million-dollar estate want to rewrite history by taking my name away from me, thus impacting how I feed my family. So as of now, per the Prince estate, I can no longer use Morris Day and the Time in any capacity. The story goes further. Of course, the Prince estate responded in a statement saying, given Prince's long-standing history with Morris Day and what the estate thought were amicable discussions, the Prince estate was surprised and disappointed to see his recent post. The estate is open to working proactively with Morris to resolve this matter. However, Morris responded to that statement. He said, beware, the estate will try and discredit my claim. They are now claiming that what I said in the media regarding my name is not entirely accurate. So tell me, which part is not accurate? I'm listening. So there was no further word from the estate on that. You know, I'm glad that's up here. You see this video here. This was the Essence Fest in 2014. And I was actually one of the millions or thousands, I should say, of people in the banners that night. I was in the nosebleed sections, as you call it, when Prince came on. And so I remember that night he was coming out performing with, secretly playing guitar, performing with uh, with Nile Rodgers and Cheek. They were the second act, and Janelle Monae, you can see him right there. He was jamming with her. I remember that. So when he died in 2016, Essence, and I went to that whole Essence Fest. They did a whole tribute to Prince. Now, Kamari, Prince was a champion of artist rights. When he had that dispute with Warner Brothers, and remember, and I think this is what Morris do. Morris should follow a cue from Prince and call himself the artist formerly known as Morris Day and the Time, and do that with Prince and perform under that, because I think people would still know who he is, and the fact that he's disputing what the estate is saying. Now, my position on it, it is messed up if this is all true, and I believe it is, because Morris Day has put a lot of time and effort performing. I mean, this is somebody we've known for over 40 years, going back to the early 80s when he had debuted with The Cool and the Bird, as well as Jungle Love, Fishnet, Pantyhose, a bunch of songs, Purple Rain. He's been doing this stuff for a long time. And I remember even when he was in the Jay and Silent Bob movie and they did Jungle Love as the closing song. I think it's messed up that that's happened to him. But here's the thing. When you talk about the estate is not a person. When you do a succession, the estate basically is made up of the administrators who carry on the affairs of the decedent, just like the estate of Michael Jackson. Michael's family has absolutely no control, to my knowledge, of Michael's millions that he has generated. The estate is run by the attorneys, and just like with Prince, I believe Prince's estate is controlled by a bank. Because even when Prince, after he died, there was a dispute even with some of the siblings that were left over. Because remember, Prince had no children. His children, he had a son actually that predeceased him. If they predeceased only people that they could rely on and listen to were his immediate family members, which would be his sister, that's still around. But sadly, or nephews, but sadly, that was some of the things that happened with Prince, and nobody can verify. You know, that's all they have. They have these administrators that run the estate, these banking cartel, the banking cartel that's there that run this. I'm trying to figure out who is the Prince estate. So I'm looking here online. It says here, Comerica is a bank that was appointed to oversee the legal proceedings involving Prince's assets after he died without a will. So it means that the legal between Day and Comerica were not actually Prince's heirs, which include his siblings, as well as primary. I'm looking here. Primary Wave, which is a music industry group that purchased 50% of Prince's estate, of 50% stake in his estate. So the dispute is with Comerica. So according to this, so this goes in more detail. He released a letter, they released a letter, Morris released a letter that he received from the estate on December 13, 2021, which state noted that Day had sought a federal trademark registration for Morris Day in the Time. Okay. And that according to a 1982 agreement that Day allegedly signed, Prince's company would maintain the rights to the band's name. Accordingly, Mr. Day has no right to use or register the time in any form, the letter said. This includes use and registration of the trademark Morris Day and the Time. The state threatened to block the trademark registration through legal action, but noted that they would prefer to discuss the matter with Day and resolve it through an agreement, and that under such an agreement, Day could license his own name back from the estate. According to Day's attorney, Richard Jefferson, these arguments about the right to the band name were not accurate. He says the written agreement between the parties gives our client the exclusive right to continue as Morris Day in the Time, and is consistent with Prince's long-standing consent. So Prince was all about his business, and that's another thing I dispute, that he didn't have a will. I can't see one of the smartest musicians of all time. This is the website, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see someone that smart, one of the geniuses in music, not having a will. Now, it happens because that happens so quickly, but a man who's been performing for 40 years in this business, 40 plus years, didn't have a will, didn't have insurance. This is why it's important to have a will. This is why it's important to have an estate, and you do some estate planning so that things like this may not happen. But when you get other people involved, Comerica, who runs the estate, they control the time, the name to the time and his music. And that's what happens even with most artists when they die and pass on, like your Sam Cooke, because I believe ABKCO, which is Alan Klein, Sam Cooke's manager at the time, they still run and control all of Sam Cooke's music. So whenever you see like with that movie, and I pointed this out last time when I've done my videos on Sam Cooke, when you look at the movie One Night in Miami, that was an ABKCO production. ABKCO produced that. And that's why they were able to get a lot of his music in there. So, yeah, I think I think Morris should perform the Morris Day, the artist formerly known as Morris Day in the Time from now on. Make his money from there. And he wrote a lot of those songs that he had, like Jungle Love and The Bird, he wrote with Prince. So I hope it's something to get resolved with the brother because I certainly don't like seeing him go broke. But let's move on. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. Donate to the Cash App, please. So, in keeping up with what's going on, so we have here Biden grants, of course, we know the war between Russia and Ukraine that's going on. Biden has granted Ukrainians a TPS order. Now, for those that want to know what that means temporary protective status. So, according to Reuters, it says Biden granting deportation relief to Ukrainians. It states here, this was on March 3rd. The administration of United States President Joe Biden will grant temporary deportation relief and work permits to tens of thousands of Ukrainians who are already in the United States but unable to return to Ukraine due to military conflict with Russia. So it says here the move will allow Ukrainians in the United States as much as of March 1st to remain and work legally for a period of 18 months, according to uh, Department of and Homeland Security, after Russian forces invaded Ukraine in one of the biggest attacks on a European state since World War II. An estimated 75,000 Ukrainians would be eligible to apply for the program. So Biden assailed Russian President Vladimir Putin, barred Russian flights from American airspace on Tuesday in a State of the Union speech dominated by the crisis in Ukraine. So with temporary protected status, ladies and gentlemen, Ukrainians get access to work permits and deportation would be granted deportation relief. So they cannot be deported as there is an active conflict going on in their country. And that is something that has been around for a while, especially with the Obama administration. They've really, pushed and protected that. Of course, Trump, when he was president, he halted many of these illegal immigrant, many of the illegal immigrant status. Illegal immigration status. He was dead set against doing stuff like that. Now, I was having this discussion with my girl today because we were talking about having people coming into this country and so forth, all these immigrants, and why we are being flooded with them. Now, let me be clear about what I'm about to say. This is not a condemnation. I'm not a selfish person. If I have money to give to someone, I give it. I have no problem helping others. But we live in a nation right now where we have an increasingly growing crisis with our homeless population, our veterans who are struggling with mental illness, who are struggling with homelessness. We have our school systems that are ravaged right now. We are battling inflation. Gas is, in some places, I've seen gas in the United States, gas prices have risen to almost $10 a gallon. We also have here in Louisiana, where I'm at, the Chevron has gone up to $3.79 for unleaded. I haven't seen these prices that high since Bush was president. Almost 17 years ago. And now, a little longer than that. And we're bringing over, and this is for Ukrainians that are already here, but rest assured, there are already groups of people that will be coming into the United States very soon. And they will extend their resources. The United States will expand and expound its resources to Russians and Ukrainians. Now, you tie that in with the next topic I'm talking about, and that is how Ukrainians have asked Africans and transgenders to fight against Mother Russia. Now, I was reported on, and I got to give a shout out to Queen Amadaya Shakur because your president of the Ukraine reached out to Congress, the United States Congress, in a Zoom call asking the United States for help. President Vladimir Zelensky, who is the president of the Ukraine, made a Zoom call to the United States Congress. Now, this is coming from CBS News. Put that copyright disclaimer up. Fair use, fair use. I'm gonna mute it since they plan push it. You know, you get a copyright warning.
Today also faced desperate calls for help from Ukraine's president. CBS's Natalie Brand joins us from the White House with what's
in the works now. Natalie? And Adriana, here at the White House in the distance, you can hear a demonstration in support of Ukraine outside the gates. Meanwhile, U.S. lawmakers will return next week to a White House request for $10 billion in humanitarian and defense assistance for Ukraine. Today, members of Congress heard directly from the country's leader about the needs on the ground. Appearing over Zoom before nearly 300 U.S. lawmakers, Ukraine's president pleaded for more military aid.
President Zelensky made the case for Ukraine. Don't let them exterminate us.
Congressman Mike Quigley, a co-chair of the Ukraine caucus, says Zelensky's message was blunt. We need air support.
Either close the skies or give us the planes, one way or the other, because you know, the battle is often won in the air, and he made it clear that that seems to be critical right now.
But what Ukraine needs is Russian-made MiGs, an aircraft its pilots are trained to fly.
There are planes available. MiGs that the Ukrainians can fly. They're waiting to be delivered.
Makers say President Zelensky also called for tougher sanctions, specifically targeting Russia's energy sector, a critical part of the country's economy, but largely spared by the current sanctions. It's an especially difficult subject for Europe, which relies on Russia for about 40% of its natural gas.
This is an evolution on the sanctions issues, right? And things change overnight. So what were once considered off limits, that's all changed.
Natalie, another request by President Zelensky was to suspend MasterCard and Visa operations in Russia. New this evening, both have as companies ramp up pressure on Russia. What else are U.S. lawmakers considering?
Well, Adriana, over on Capitol Hill, there is growing support for a bipartisan bill to ban Russian energy imports to the U.S. That support, despite concern about rising gas prices, the White House says it is looking into options to reduce U.S. consumption of Russian energy while also trying to maintain a steady global supply of energy. Adriana.
All right, Natalie Brand at the White House. Thank you.
Your time to invest in companies that make stuff
They weren't allowed him. Now,
We're stranded, not in no place to rest, just here. And like we just left the cold outside for like 6 hours. We've been outside. We've been begging, pushing, dragging, like it's so traumatic. Just trying to.
colleagues sent me these videos. Apparently, Ukrainians don't want because they want Africans to fight for Ukraine against Russia. Now, I'm gonna listen to this. I'm even hearing that they want transgenders.
We are going to give you guns, and you're gonna fight for Ukraine.
Ukrainians tried to get a Congolese man fight for them. He refused.
They even told us like, we are going to give you guns, and you're gonna fight for Ukraine. I said, hi. We're gonna fight for Ukraine. We are not Ukrainian. We are black. So how can we fight? How can we fight for Ukraine? If we fight for Ukraine, we are going to die first because we are black. When we say, oh, those black people, I think they are from NATO. So we have to kill them first. So how could they think that way? Come on. Ukraine.
Ukrainians tried to get a Congolese man fight for them. He refused.
They even told us like, say hi. We're gonna fight for Ukraine. We are not Ukrainian. We are black. We are black. So how can we fight for Ukraine? If we fight for Ukraine, we are going to die first because we are black. When they say, those black people, I think they are from NATO. So we have to kill them first. So how could they think that way? Come on. Ukraine.
Ukrainians tried to get a Congolese man fight for them. He refused.
They even told us like, we are going to give you guns and you're going to fight for Ukraine. I said, hi. We're going to fight for Ukraine. We are not Ukrainian. We are black. So how can we fight? How can we fight for Ukraine? If we fight for Ukraine, we are going to die first because we are black. When they will say, oh, look at those black people, I think they are from NATO. So we have to kill them first. So how could they think that way? Come on. Ukraine.
Ukrainians tried to get a Congolese.
He's like, no way. No way. I would do no such thing. I will do no such thing. I will not fight for them. No way. I will fight. I will not fight for you. there is no way. So thank you, Black Voltron. And I saw some of you all were couldn't hear me. What I was just basically saying earlier, excuse me if the sound was muted, was the gentleman who was putting that up there. I don't know who is, what his name was, and exactly, but who was talking about. His name was Chepakuri Basilio, and he has over 15,000 followers. I don't know who he is personally. Haven't heard of him before, but obviously he has several African nations on his Twitter. Under his Twitter avatar, several flags and banners. He was talking about how outside the Ukraine embassy in Senegal, there are calls for African volunteers to join this fight against Russia. And yet there are Africans in the Ukraine who are getting beat up, punched, kicked, having guns pointed at them when they are trying to leave and flee this country. Hell no, I would not fight. This isn't my nation. But you know, many of those people, and I'm not going to say it's all of them, but a lot of people who are from some of these African nations have a disdain for black people in this country. And I'm not going to say that they deserve what happened to them or anything like that. That I'm not saying that at all. But it is a wake up call, and should be a wake up call that your work ethic, what you do, where you go to school, and so forth means nothing, because to them they see you as nothing. And the fact that they are asking these people to stay behind and fight, but yet who are immigrants? Let's keep in mind with this: people who come from Nigeria, from Senegal, Cambodia, whatever countries they're coming from in Africa, go to Ukraine to get a better education, right? And they are letting the people from Ukraine flee, their citizens flee, but not the immigrants to stay and fight for them. What sense does that make? I couldn't see someone in the United States, or if If we had war here in the United States and the Biden administration decided to let every American flee its nation to find safe haven, but let the illegal immigrants go to war for them. That wouldn't make any amount of sense. Because when you're born in the United States, of course, when they had the draft, if you were over the age of 18, you were healthy, you were a male, you have to register for the selective service. I had to do that. Every male still does that to this day, even though there's no draft. And so, how are you going to have people fight who are not natives of Ukraine fight for the Ukraine? They are in desperation mode. And I'm looking at this. If they're asking for the United States for help, you're going to talk about another war that's coming. I remember the war in Iraq. I knew some people who went over there. I have cousins and stuff, of course. Everybody that goes in the military they go based off of what their job and what they can do. So everybody that serves in the military doesn't necessarily see action in the military, that they're fighting the enemy. But I can see if the United States does get involved with this further and they provide some type of military support. Yeah, they didn't join NATO apparently. And Putin was like, to hell with NATO. The former NATO commander just released a statement through Newsweek. His name is James Stavridis. He warned Sunday that he's quite concerned that Vladimir Putin will not stop his invasion after the Ukraine. He warned Putin has his gun sights on several countries that were previously part of the Soviet Union but are not members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, including Moldova, Kazakhstan, and Belarus, though Belarus is already a close Putin ally and has even engaged or agreed to host Russia's nuclear weapons inside its borders. Now, bear in mind, war can only be declared by Congress under constitutional law. However, well, Darius, you never know. I'm praying for your friends. Depends on what they're doing, what their position is. I mean, as I've joined, for instance, if I was joining the military, I would join as an officer, a JAG officer, which means you're an attorney. And the attorneys necessarily work in the legal branch of the government, of the army, just like a doctor works in the medical field of the army or the Air Force. They don't necessarily see action, although depending on what branch you are, like if you're in the Marines or you're in the Army, you actually can see combat. So yeah, this is just the beginning, guys. I'm keeping our fingers crossed because I'm hoping we don't have World War III breaking out. But what say you all? What are your thoughts? Should I'm hearing that they're saying they want transgenders to fight. This was according to Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur because I looked at her video and that was the title of it. And she said they're asking them to fight in it. But should they fight? Should we get involved? I don't believe so. But this was not going to be a long live stream. This was just going to be an hour. Well, sanctions are one thing. Remember, even during World War II, before the United States got involved, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, the United States had put embargoes on Japan, cutting off their oil supply. And when that happened, it was evident that an attack by the Japanese was going to happen. And there are reports coming out that Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, knew in advance that Pearl Harbor was going to be bombed. It's very possible that he did, that his intelligence agencies did. They knew that an attack was coming, whether they knew it was going to be Pearl Harbor or whether it would be Midway or wherever a United States base was. They knew something was going to happen. Yeah, Queen was saying that.
Life for the past couple of years has taken a detour. I know mine has. Well, it's time to move
someone-
forward and new.
Yeah, award within award. Transgender woman says transphobia and discriminatory laws keeping her hostage in Kyiv during Russia invasion. Well, they're saying, will Russia bring its war? I look how they titled this. Will Russia bring its war on LGBTQ people to Ukraine? Now, I remember when I believe during the Olympics, I believe it was the Winter Olympics a few years ago, Putin had put a ban on homosexuality, any type of reference to it, any commercials, any type of promos during the Olympics. And Biden, sorry, not Biden, Obama, who was president, they were going to put sanctions on Russia if Putin didn't let up. And Putin allowed them to do that because in Russia, he has put a ban on any type of what he calls homosexual. And thank them for their service. And so Obama put those sanctions on them. So if Russia does do that, yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that they could institute their laws over there if they can get control of Ukraine. I could see that happening. Well, what do y'all think? Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Please donate to the Cash App at Gavin Richard Esquire if you like this channel. We're going to end this live stream in a minute. You all still have time if you want to come on out. I will be a couple of things to show you some projects we have coming up. Of course, we have our book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. I understand, and many people are anxious because for my schedule has been tied up in recent time. It just I've had I'm not making an excuse, but a host of things have come. But you go to this page at Commonwealth Cause and you'll get the latest news and events when the book will be updated. I'll actually I'm in the process of creating an Instagram page for it. So that way I know that some of you who do not have IG, who do not have Facebook, but do IG can actually go here and you'll go there. But yeah, but this is a great book to have. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed as well because he's going to be making a movie on it. So I need to get in touch with him, with brother Tariq. Thank you, Black Voltron, Darius from Atlanta, my mod, Superstar Bella, Bossa Queenie, bunch of people who are here. G-Man, I know you had asked a question, G-Man. Let me, earlier, I don't know if I answered it. Maximus Royalty, Computer Robots, y'all said $3.79 was nice. Not nice to me. Yeah, I guess I did answer it, G-Man. No, you're not gonna go fight. So, yeah, you go there. You also go to NawniesCreoleBlends.com. Get a great seasoning. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawnies goes great with every dish. Thank you, Darius, for your Cash App donation. I appreciate it. If you all want to purchase some seasoning, go here and hit continue shopping and buy some seasoning. I know, yeah, it's better. Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. I miss when gas was shit. For me, cheap was when gas was $1.99 or less. I can still remember those days as a kid. That was reasonable. But that's not gonna last for long. That $3.79 is about to go up. That's right, Boss Queenie. They're real hot. Oh, of course. Drinking doesn't really help. I drink a little bit, but not occasionally. On occasions, but not regularly. Well, so, if you're gonna be out tonight, yeah, come to Hi Ho Lounge at 8 o'clock, and this is our flyer for March 17th at 8 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, at the Worst Beer Garden open mic. I will be headlining. You all come on out if you're in the Lafayette area and enjoy. And if you're in New Orleans, y'all come on out to Hi Ho Lounge and enjoy that as well to support. So I appreciate when Boss Queenie. Oh, $0.97. You know what I like to do? Just as a reminder, I don't know if you all got Sam's cards or not, or if you're a member, but go to Sam's and fill up on gas if you can. Get your fill up there because if you're a member, you get, of course, like 20 cents off. But I like to do that, uh, but not in the city of New Orleans. I'll go to Covington or I'll go to Slidell if I'm out there, and I'll get my gas that way. City motherfucker right now. That is bad. But you all have a great Sunday. And of course, oh, I forgot. We got to download and check out. If you want to advertise, go hit me up on the email. Go to Patreon, and I will work on those later this week for anyone that has any requests. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we get on out, it is now time to get on up. So download Video Soul and also check out Gotta Get On Up, available on iTunes. Yeah, Rashana, get your Sam's card. So with further ado, guys, I will be back Tuesday. Said I wasn't going to do a long show, which I didn't. I kept my word. But you all be safe. And Darius, I hope you boys come back safe and sound, man. Really do. All right. I'll holla. Peace, guys.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Because on the dance floor is where we'll be.
I knew those were 80s prices, too.
Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do, but once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do, cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body, cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on.
Play the whispers, rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners, electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop, or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do, cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body, cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body, cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.